So in this podcast, I'm about to introduce to y'all about to witness what I've been experiencing for over 6 years, damn near probably more than 7 years. I gotta actually count. But and I want you to ask yourself what happens when this type of technology get in the hands of some white supremacist scumbags, some perverted white supremacist scumbags that has control of a town. And this is going on, and this type of software is being used by white supremacist scumbags in Morton, Pennsylvania. I've been neglected by the Morton, Pennsylvania Police Department as well as Fire and Rescue. They're all aware of white supremacist scumbags like this using this type of software and out here, man. It's crazy. But yeah, I'm gonna just let y'all listen to it for yourself. I can't make it up. I'm not no tech savvy person. The only reason I know that stuff like this is happening is from experience, y'all. So right now, y'all gonna see proof of what's been happening to me. Y'all gonna understand why I buy routers repeatedly, why I buy all this stuff repeatedly, why I have to pay for a VPN every month. I don't like spending money. I like saving my money. I have better things to invest in with my money. As y'all can see around me, I'm trying to start a mentorship. I'm trying to do a lot of other things rather than sit here and change passwords and dedicate my time to this. I have much more things to worry about and focus on. I'm gonna be showing it to y'all. They're not gonna stop me from doing this. And I've been building my body up and going against all odds. But since I've been disabled, period, these white supremacists have been targeting me at the hands of Bill Stewart. Tell that man to turn over my police reports and stop blocking me from getting legal aid and justice. Period. You know what I'm saying? Stop being scared. Why are you scared? And why are you preventing me from doing what you doing? Why are y'all stalking me? Why are y'all constantly putting stingrays on my house and using sophisticated surveillance on me? When have I been a threat? When have a disabled man getting repeated surgeries been a threat? You know what I'm saying? And why have I been reporting being hacked and being stalked ever since? Not necessarily being stalked ever since, but definitely being hacked and oppressed. You know what I'm saying? And where's my stimulus money? Why have you did this to a disabled black man? Even when during the pandemic, man. Why is my mail coming half open? Had to report things to everybody, DHS, everybody. Where's my justice? 3-letter agencies, everybody, since day one. Where is my justice? That's what I'm asking. You know what I'm saying? Speaking at the most commonest level right now, because I don't think I have the right or privilege of snapping out. I don't think I have the right of being angry no more. So, I'm doing everything, not only reaching out to every avenue that I supposed to, even DHS, you know what I'm saying? Because this is a hate crime against a disabled man. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what kind of games you playing, and I'm going to speak my truth regardless of, whatever Karen or white supremacist tactics you plan on using against me. Do it. Let's do it. But let's make it public. Come on, Bill. And release my and put pressure on that man to release my police reports. Don't make me keep having to track him down. They told me I have to track this man down. He's a busy man. I can't see how a man that's in charge of the municipal move. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that right now. Municipal, yeah, I ain't gonna do it. That department, the trash department, and all that is in charge of my police reports and all of this. It seems like this man has like a monopoly on the town. And he's able to leverage too many things. It's too much power, man. You're able to leverage too many things over people's head and box them in crazy situations, man. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely too much power. And it's not just the white supremacists, it's the black people he got control over too. You know what I'm saying? Because we ain't playing with them either. We hold everybody accountable for what they did to me, and been a part of over these last couple of years. They don't know me, you know what I mean? But anyway, before we get off and start making this thing, you know what I'm saying? Because I really don't have the it's so many cuss words that is necessary for real. And I don't have the right to. It seems like I don't have the right or luxury of using those words, despite me being a grown man now, despite me being abused, despite me being neglected by the government and you know, and other things. It just is what it is. But and things to clear up, because they're gonna try to say like, oh, it costs this amount of money. Well, not for the government and not for people with those kind of credentials. And that's what I'm saying. And we already know that white supremacists have infiltrated the government, period, in different ways. History has proven this. We know about things in like we study history, you know what I'm saying? For the most part, a lot of us have. Not me even. I'm not even saying I have too much. But I have enough to know that they have a history of doing a lot of things to us, including slavery. So yes, this is not new. We know the thoughts that be in certain people's head. We know the things that's still happening to people who come from, you know, my background and other minorities. You know what I'm saying? And other people who under their we see what's going on today still. You know what I'm saying? I'm not, you know, isolated to this problem. But yes, this software, they are heavily invested in us. It's not even just this. I'm wondering how they're hiring so many people to stalk us and why we're that important. You know what I'm saying? Even our own people, why they're spending this amount of resources and leveraging these amount of things against us. Why are they like, why are we that important? You know what I'm saying? I'm not a narcissist. I don't think that I'm that important, but some things have happened to me, and some lies they have told. You know what I'm saying? It do make sense when we think of it that way. But that's a whole nother conversation. All I wanna make y'all understand is that money thing is bullshit. They said the same thing about the helicopters. We know these people have control of these resources. So if they're able to leverage and use things that they don't pay that bill that we pay that certain companies have to pay if they want to do that thing. And we know these thing is lower level things on the black market, but we know they can get the real deal, and we know they do have the real deal. That's the only way a person like me even know this sophisticated technology exists. I'm no tech savvy person. Again, I don't, and even a tech savvy person don't even know this stuff exists like that. See through wall technologies. How do I even know to look that stuff up? Because it's in the hands of some disgusting, perverted, despicable pieces of trash white supremacists out in Morton, Pennsylvania that has been using that against me, literally watching me have sex in my bed, literally then scared the person I was having sex with to the point they don't even want to say nothing about it because these is despicable white supremacist scumbags, and they need to be exposed and they need to be investigated. And that's just it. I'm done with it.
Something breaks in the way we think about security when we talk about a fully compromised device. We spend all this time arguing about password managers and encryption protocols, but if the operating system itself is hostile, none of that actually matters.
The floor just falls out from under you. You build this entire fortress, strong, unique passwords, multi-factor authentication, hardware keys, and then something like Pegasus gets on the phone, and once it's there, it doesn't need to break your encryption. It just watches you type the master password. It sees the screen the same way you do. That changes the threat landscape because we are so conditioned to think of malware as something you have to invite in. You clicked the wrong link, you downloaded the sketchy attachment, but with modern zero-click exploits, you just receive an iMessage. You don't even have to open it.
That is the part that short-circuits people's threat models. The idea that your phone can be weaponized against you just by receiving data.
Actually, it's more insidious than that. It's not just receiving data,
It's the fact that our phones are designed to aggressively parse data to be helpful. Think about iMessage or WhatsApp. When someone sends you a link or an image, the phone automatically processes parts of that file to show you a preview. It wants to make the user experience seamless, and that processing is where the exploit lives. The attacker sends a crafted piece of data that forces the messaging app's rendering engine to execute their code. You never clicked anything, the phone just did what it was programmed to do.
So the helpfulness of the software is the vulnerability.
The complexity of modern operating systems creates an infinite attack surface, and when you look at what NSO Group built with Pegasus, it's staggering. It's not just taking your files, it's turning the device into a real-time surveillance asset. It accesses the microphone, the camera, tracks GPS, and reads encrypted Signal or WhatsApp messages before they even get encrypted, right off the device. So when people ask if their password manager is safe from Pegasus, the answer is no, but the real question is why they think Pegasus is in their threat model to begin with.
I'm not sure that holds. People see headlines about military-grade spyware and assume they need to defend against it. But wait, if someone is using a standard password manager, aren't they just trying to protect themselves from credential stuffing? Why are we leaping to nation-state attacks?
I hear you, but I keep getting stuck on how the media reports these vulnerabilities. When a zero-day exploit drops, the security community panics, and that panic filters down to the average user. But an average person isn't being targeted by a multi-million-dollar zero-click exploit. These tools are expensive. They are sold to governments. If a foreign intelligence agency wants your passwords, they aren't going to send a mass phishing email. They are going to use something like Pegasus. But for the average person, good digital hygiene, updating your phone, using a password manager is still the defense against 99% of the threats they actually face.
There's a massive asymmetry there. We are telling people to patch their software to fight off automated botnets, while the actual structural vulnerabilities are being hoarded by surveillance companies.
And that structural vulnerability is what Apple is trying to address with lockdown mode. It's a fascinating admission from Apple. They are essentially saying, we cannot secure this device against state-sponsored actors while keeping all these consumer features turned on. So lockdown mode just turns off the attack vectors. It blocks most message attachments. It disables complex web technologies like just-in-time JavaScript compilation. It breaks the iPhone's functionality to save its security.
It turns a smartphone back into a dumb phone.
Almost. It's an extreme optional protection. And Apple recently confirmed that they are not aware of any successful mercenary spyware attacks against a device with lockdown mode enabled. That is a huge claim, but it requires the user to accept that their phone is going to be incredibly annoying to use. Websites will load slower or break. Incoming FaceTime calls from unknown numbers are blocked. Most people will never turn it on because the friction is too high.
I don't know. That feels too clean to me. If lockdown mode works perfectly, doesn't the attacker just pivot? If they can't get the phone, they go after the cloud backups, or they intercept the traffic at the carrier level.
That is the frustrating reality of threat modeling. You close one door, and the adversary just walks around the building to check the windows. But making the endpoint harder to crack is still valuable. If an attacker has to burn a zero-day exploit to get into an iPhone, they're going to save that exploit for a high-value target, a journalist, a dissident, a senior government official. They aren't going to waste it on someone's crypto wallet.
Which brings us back to the password manager. The manager isn't the weak link. The environment it operates in is.
The environment is everything. If the soil is poisoned, the crop is ruined. But we have to accept a baseline level of trust in our hardware. If you assume your device is fundamentally compromised by state-level actors, then you can't type your password. You can't use biometric authentication. You essentially have to practice full device isolation, which is impossible for a normal life in a digital society.
We have to scale our protection to our actual threat level rather than our imagined one.
And that means keeping the password manager, keeping the software updated. The existence of Pegasus doesn't invalidate the need for basic digital hygiene. It just reminds us of the ceiling of consumer security.
It leaves us sitting with the uncomfortable reality that total security is a myth. We just have to choose which risks we are willing to live with.
That makes me genuinely uncomfortable, but it's the only pragmatic way forward. If this conversation made you rethink your digital threat model, send it to someone who still uses the same password for everything.